I'm going to just briefly read our special recognition. As you know, for our retiring employees, we normally do a recognition. The mayor, council, and administration of the city of Oak Park, Michigan, in testament and tribute to his distinguished public service and lasting contributions to the city of Oak Park and its residents, wish to express their sincere appreciation to Mike Pinkerton. You have served as a pillar of integrity in this organization, and you have helped to set the city's high standard of excellence. You have served as a source of guidance, support, and leadership for your colleagues, and it is those qualities that will leave a lasting imprint on the city of Oak Park. Your dedicated spirit, wealth of knowledge, and overall dedication to the city of Oak Park will be sorely missed.
Amen.
Mike, before I turn it over to Director Cooper, I want to say that it has been one of the true honors of my life and my career to work with you. And I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you for all that you have done for this community over these last many years. It is so greatly appreciated, and you're great. Director Cooper.
Thank you, boss. All right. If I'm being truthful, I must say that I'm standing here dreading that this day has come. As the old saying goes, all good things must come to an end, and today marks the beginning of that end. Even though the friendship that we've built will live on, our careers together at Oak Park has run its course. I've had the honor and pleasure of knowing and working intimately with Deputy Director Mike Pinkerton for the past 27 years. Of those 27 years, Deputy Director Pinkerton has been a part of the management team for 21 years. He has served in many roles. He started as a patrolman, soon to be appointed as a field training officer. Shortly thereafter, a member of the Oak Park Special Response Team. He was promoted to detective in the Investigations Bureau, then promoted to patrol sergeant. He also served as a detective sergeant in the Investigations Bureau. He was promoted to patrol lieutenant. As patrol lieutenant, he took over as the commander in charge of the field training officer program. He's a member of the Oak Park Pension Board for several years, vice president of the Police Officers Labor Council for 7 years, lieutenant commanding officer of the Investigations Bureau, and finally, for the past 11 years, he has served as deputy director, second in command of the Public Safety Department. I've depended heavily on Deputy Director Pinkerton, especially the last 11 years, in assisting me with shaping, molding, and leading the department into one of the model organizations in the public safety profession. He's extremely intelligent, knowledgeable, and a great leader. The majority of the time, he and I have seen eye to eye and have agreed on most things. But in those times when we have disagreed, I've appreciated, respected his position, passion, and most of all, his brutal honesty. I never wanted a person in that position who would not challenge me when he or she had a difference of opinion. Deputy Director Pinkerton was definitely not that. I expected nothing less from a great leader. The healthy discussion and/or debates back and forth have for sure benefited myself and the organization. During Deputy Director Pinkerton's distinguished career, he served honorably, receiving countless awards. Deputy Director Pinkerton and I have spent a great deal of time during our careers working on the same shifts, working in the Investigations Bureau as members on the Special Response Team, etc. Through our tenure, we have become much more than colleagues. The brotherhood that we've developed, I would cherish long after we've both retired. So the time has come to congratulate and bid a farewell to another one of Oak Park's finest. I want to sincerely thank you for standing shoulder to shoulder with me. I got you. I want to sincerely thank you for standing shoulder to shoulder with me as we've navigated through some of the toughest, challenging, and difficult times in our profession. Yeah, I got it. It's been an honor and a privilege to serve alongside you for 27 years. I love you, and may God continue to bless you and keep you.
photo opportunity. There isn't a dry eye in the whole room.
Are we doing pictures now?
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna talk.
Oh, you wanna say a
maybe-
couple
yeah,
things?
if I could.
Go ahead.
If I could, I'll take a couple things and then.
He's got a speech, let him read every word.
I've been 27 years here, I get a little bit of time. Director Cooper's font was much bigger than my font is, I'll just let you know that, but I still have to put my glasses on. Good evening, Madam Mayor, Council, City Manager Tungate. I appreciate this recognition. I'm humbled and honored to be sharing this day with the family and friends of Officer Henry Wolf, who made the ultimate sacrifice 50 years ago today while serving the citizens of Oak Park. I began my career with the City of Oak Park in 1996. My uncle Rob Maychek, who was one of the retirees that was out here, was an officer here at that time, and that is how I became familiar with the city and the profession of public safety. Between the two of us, we have served the citizens of Oak Park for over 50 years. I left my job in the mortgage banking profession in 1996 to pursue my law enforcement career. This was a major life change for me, but it was a profession I felt I was called to. Like many others that heed this calling, I wanted to make a difference in people's lives, give back to the community. The job has come with many highs and lows, good and bad times. I've made lifelong friends. I've also lost colleagues along the way. In line of duty, and others has come in different ways to the stress of this job. When I began this journey, I really did not understand the toll it can take on an individual from shift work, missing holidays, birthdays, missing family events, kids' games. That was not something I had taken into consideration. I was also wearing rose-colored glasses when I thought I would be doing the following: assisting an elderly person back into their bed because their elderly spouse was unable to help and they had no other means to help them, rescuing children, adults, and or family pets from a burning home, assisting with the delivery of a baby when time was of the essence and there were no other options to get the mother to the hospital on time, arriving at a location where a loved one had asked for a welfare check because they had been not able to get in touch with their parent, and being able to inform them that their parent was just fine, their phone had just died. Being dispatched to a person having a mental health crisis and being able to calmly talk to them and provide an avenue for assistance to get the help they needed for themselves and their families. I did all of these things throughout my career. However, I also did the following. I had to break the news to that elderly spouse that their loved one of over 50 years of marriage had not just fallen, but had actually passed. Arriving first to an early Sunday morning house fire, finding it fully involved, kicking in the front door, finding two elderly sisters dead in the doorway, so close to the front door, but we just not arrived in time. Arriving to an infant not breathing, only to find that they'd been shaken to death by the mother's boyfriend. Being sent to a welfare check and finding the father of reporting party had been bludgeoned to death, and then having to break the news to the loved ones that were just hoping that he just wasn't home. Arriving to a mental health call only to find that we did not get there in time, and then the individual that was asking for help had already taken their lives. I did not say these things to ask for sympathy. I signed up for this job. I was not drafted. I was never compared this profession to that of a soldier. I say this so that others realize that although we can hold our heads high, knowing that we've helped others to the best of our abilities, the ones we could not help remain in our visions and thoughts for the rest of our lives. This is a crucial profession. 99.9% of individuals that choose this profession do so for the right reason, serve with honor and integrity. We as law enforcement professionals must make sure that we do everything in our power not to allow those that would sully the profession to ever wear the badge. And if those few slip through, we must be resolute in weeding them out at the first sign of trouble. With that being said, we must all stand up to the defund anti-law enforcement movement. There's no other career I can think of where the sins of an individual officer, oftentimes thousands of miles away, become the sins of all officers simply because we wear the badge. This is unfair and frankly disheartening. I have so much respect for the citizens of this community and how they have had our back for my entire 27 years that I've had the honor of serving them. I hope and pray they continue to do so going forward as the men and women of this department are doing their very best every day to keep them safe. In closing, I'd like to thank my wife, Christy, my children, Zach, Mitch, Jack, Claire, Peyton, and Ian, for their understanding and patience. It's not easy being the child, stepchild, or spouse of an officer. We're trained to look deeper. Don't accept things at face value. Expect to be lied to. This does not lend itself to a laid-back home life. I've been told many times by many family members, stop talking to me like I'm a suspect. I hope I learn to let some of that go, but from time to time, I'm sure it rears its ugly head. I'd like to thank the many officers that I've had the privilege and honor of serving and working with. There's no other group of individuals I have chosen to spend the last 27 years with. Lastly, I need to thank my boss, Chief Steve Cooper. This man has been my rock from first days when he was one of my field training officers, to work in the road together on midnights, working for him in the Detective Bureau, these past years working for him as second in command. I have the utmost respect for you as a boss, but I consider you more of a brother. There's no other person I would have liked to ride their coattails for the last 27 years. Thank you all from the bottom of my heart. Continue to do the best, do what's right, and treat others how you would like to be treated. Thank you. Probably should have got the picture first.
Let's get a picture with you.
It's going to be a great picture. Yeah.